A warm welcome to everyone. This is Jayant, an aspiring data scientist and integrated MSc Math Management at NIT Warangal. I aim to build AI products that can impact the humanity in a positive way. I love visualizing the data using the tools like Matplotlib, Seaborn, and digging the mathematical calculations behind the ML algorithms. And these are my projects that include here. I have done some internships and I'm doing an internship at present in my college itself. You can go through them in my LinkedIn profile, and this is my GitHub profile. I will give you the links in the description box. These are my skills and expertise, guys. You can see on the screen. Now, I welcome you to the end-to-end tech summarization project. You can see on the screen JaySummBot that I have built after completing this project. I will show the demo of of this project at the end or before this video starts. After this, I will show you the demo. And these are the steps that I have followed to create this project. First, we have to create the GitHub repository in your GitHub account. Then the project template will be same for majority of the end-to-end projects. And we have to set up the requirements. What are the requirements? What are the libraries that are used for this project? We have to write everything, every library in the requirements section, and we have to create the logging file. We have to create the utils where we use the common methods for the entire project. We will write there. And next we go to the project workflows where how data ingestion, why data ingestion is created. Next, data validation or data transformation, model training, how each and every thing is researched in a research folder, and how we make them as a end-to-end project. Means first which file we have to update, whether we have to update config file or whether we have to update the params.ml file. Next, whether we have to update components or pipeline, which one. There is a step by step process that is known as workflow, we call. We will see that workflow. We will see the notebook experimentation, which is nothing but we will experiment the every component like data ingestion, everything, and we will make them as a modular coding. I hope you know the modular coding in Python. Nothing but oops concept. Now we'll train the pipeline. We create a user interface that I have showed before using Flask and HTML. And at the end of the day, the most important part is the CI/CD deployment on AWS. How this is done, continuous integration and continuous deployment. This is the most important part of this video, and I will talk more on this part because in my previous end-to-end project, which is kidney disease classification, I have more focused on the project workflows rather than the app creation, CACD deployment. Today, I would touch those as well, but I will go with some fast pace on the project workflows and how the template and why these libraries are important. And I will jump to the deployment part, how this CACD pipeline is created, in which file we should keep them. The code should be present in main.yaml file in GitHub workflows. We'll see step by step. Now let's get into the code in the VS Code. Thank you. Yes, guys, let's get into the code in the VS Code. Create a repository in your GitHub account and come to the VS Code and clone in the VS Code. And the first step is to create the template of the project. These are the basic libraries I imported. This is the log information. It consists of log level, and the format, message, time of the log, and this is the name of the project. These are the basic repositories, not repositories, basic directories one should create for end-to-end project generally. And we are creating the directories using the for loop. That's it. Then create the setup.py file. The use of setup.py file is when you want to share your project to do some work with your collab. If you want to collaborate with your friend, if you have done some part of the project and your friend has to do the other part, and he or he he or she don't know what is the name and they don't know the basic information. For that, we create the setup file where the repository name, author name, everything is written so that they can know the entire how the project, and they can access how they can access the project. This is the use of setup.py file, and you can see what I have written here. Now go to the requirements.txt file and write the libraries that you want for the project. In this project, I want the transformers library and transformers centipede. This is also the command I have to. This is also the library I have to use, and data sets. And these are the libraries that I have to use. I have used in this project. Now the readme.md, I have written everything what I have done here in this project, the step by step what I have done. Readme is very important for every project. And let's get into the after creating the directories here. Now get into the research folder. What is the use of research folder? See, the first step is to go into the research folder and create a file named data ingestion. Why we need data ingestion file? Because data ingestion, without data how we can do the entire project. Basically, in data ingestion we connect with the database, or we connect with the drive, or where else the data is present. We connect with them, and we gather data for the project in our local machine. For that, we create a separate component named data ingestion. I will explain each and every line of code. Let's see. First, I am importing the operating system, and I am checking the directory. It is present in the research, but I want to go to the text summarization, and I am changing the directory using the os.chdar. And you can see this is a data class. I hope you know them. I explained them, explained about data class and what is this, the entity, what is the entity, why we use entity. Let's explain. I will explain you again. The data class we are importing the path. The use of data class is nothing but the entity. What is mean by entity? Entity is a written type of a class in this class, and we are writing frozen equal true means we don't want to add anything more. That's what we have done here. And we are importing constants from every. What is constant? Where is this constant present actually? Let's see that. Now go to your source file, and this is end-to-end summarization. Don't worry about these all files there, don't afraid of these. At the end everything will be empty, think like that. And I'm telling the step-by-step process. In the utils file, you can see the common.py. No, this is common file, but I want constants one. We have to see carefully where it's present. Common.py file, not common, it is constants, right? Here you can see clearly. See what I have written here. In constants, I have written config file path where I am taking the config.yaml file as a path to this config file path. To see how useful the path library is. Path library is giving for us where is this config.yaml file present in the local machine. The path of this file it is giving. You can see here the config.yaml file is present here. What is the use of config.yaml file? You can see, I will tell you. First I am telling artifacts roots. I will see it will come one by one in the code that I have shown you before, where the research folder I'm doing the research whether my complete project is working or not. Here you can see. Wait. Now here you can see I'm importing the constants. What is the mean? Means I'm importing the config file path and the params file path. Where here they are present here, right? You can see here they present here. That's why I importing this and params file path, both of them, and I'm here, giving them here. And I also imported the read YAML method and create directories method. These are the methods that I have created in the common.py file. This is the common.py file. It is present in the utils. You can see here. See why is the name of the file is common? Because the methods that present here or the functions that present here are used for the entire end-to-end project. These are common. See, create directories. You can see it will create the directory only. It will take the path and it will create the directory in the local machine. That's what its job. And what is the job of this function? It will take the path of a YAML file and it will return as the config box type. What is the name of what is config box? I already explained in the previous video. Config box is just to access the files in using dot operator. After sending a YAML or any dictionary to a config box, we can access through dot operation. You can see the use of the config. After returning those, you can see I will show you. See, I'm taking the config file path means I'm taking the config.yaml, the information in config.yaml and the information in params.yaml. The config.yaml, this is the config, this is the information I'm taking, and where is the params.yaml? I will show you. This is the params.yaml, this is the information I'm taking. And I'm using read YAML function and I'm passing the config file path means I'm passing the config.yaml this file to this function because I want to access all the information. This is type the dictionary key value like that means. But if you want to access a key in a dictionary, you have to write the name of the dictionary and square brackets, and you have to the colon, then you have to write the key name to access the value. But after passing through the read YAML function, you can access them using dot operation. And I'm storing it in config and params like this. And I'm just, as I created the class here, the entity, now I am giving the values for this root directory. Where is the root directory? This is present in config. This is the root directory. See, you can see how I can access the config.root directory. Config.root directory. After going to the data ingestion, I will name this. You can see here. I will show one by one. You can see, guys, how this is a just code where this is a simple code. You should know the modular coding. Then it will be very easy. You can see here root directory. What is the root directory? Config or root directory. What is config? Config is the data ingestion. In data ingestion, there is a root directory. I am accessing it using, you can see, dot operation. How I can access using dot operation? Because I pass it to the readml function like this. It is a very simple function, very simple class that I have built. This is not a configuration manager. It will manage the data. It will take the data from the other files, and if we create the entity, this is a custom entity, and we, you can see why I call it entity. It is a return type of the class get data ingestion config. We are just given the values of this values for this containers means. You can see this is the variable. We are just given values for this. And I got okay. Don't worry about this. This is when I have run before. Now you can see here. I just imported the basic libraries I want. Now actual data ingestion class I'm creating. See, after returning, now I can return the data ingestion config where the information the configuration class is ready to give the information that I want to get the data, because I have given the information to configuration manager class. If I have created the object, this is a class. Now I am giving that class to this function. See, instructor. This is the data ingestion class where I giving the before class as the input, and I am again storing it in the config. And now I'm downloading the data. I'm After downloading, it will be in the zip format. I am unzipping the data. You can see this is a simple code, and I am calling one by one. First I have created the configuration manager, then the get data information config, ingestion config. See what I have done step by step. I call them step by step. See, these are the objects, and these are the methods that present in the class. That's why I can able to call them using dot. You should know the object oriented programming, how the modular coding works. That's all, guys. This is very simple code. And after doing this project, see, my code is working. It is running successfully. So I have to make them in a modular way. What is the workflow? Which part where should I keep? Now the readme is very useful. Let me open readme. See, this is the workflow. First, you have to update the config.ml. See, yes, I have updated the config.ml regarding data ingestion. Yes, I have done that. Now, I think params.ml. Is there any information that I have to write in params.ml file so that I can do the data ingestion? I should check that. Let's go there. No, these are all the parameters that are used for training purpose. No need of updating the params.ml for data ingestion part. We have to check know the entity. See, we have created in one entity. This is the entity that we have created. We have to keep it in a separate place named entity that is present in my end-to-end text summarizers. You can see the directory here. See, you can see here entity. I just kept here everything. First, see, data ingestion. About data ingestion class entity returning it is the return type of classes of data ingestion. You can see here, like that every others I have done. I will go through them. You can see. Now let me go to again the readme.ml. Which one next? I have to update the configuration manager. See, I have also created configuration manager. Config, you can see here config. See, configuration.py. What I have done here, I just what I have to update, I have copy pasted this in the entity file. And this is the configuration manager. I have to copy paste this in the configuration manager. That's it. See, I have copy pasted it. You can see here. Simply I just copy pasted what I have done. Next, I have to update the components. Components nothing but data ingestion class itself. This is the data ingestion class, right? I just copy pasted these imports and this data ingestion class in the component section. You can see them here. See, data ingestion.py. I just copy pasted it. Just copy pasting. After doing the research, okay, my data ingestion will work. After doing the research, you will convert into modular coding. I hope you understood. Next, pipeline. Let me show you the pipeline. Creative, file name, stage 1 data ingestion. See, everything is for clarity. Keep it in mind. These are the imports I imported, and this is a train class. Now create a class name data ingestion training pipeline. Create the instructor. It is must. And create a main function, main method. We don't call it as a function in a class. We call it as a method. See, this is a method. This is also just copy pasted from the research. See, this is a pipeline. Pipeline is nothing but calling one by one, guys. One by one. What we have done, we have to call that itself. I hope you understood. I hope you understood regarding the data ingestion part. Now let's get into data validation. What is validation? First of all, validation is nothing but after doing something you have to validate it whether it is correct or not with some data. Like that, again I'm importing these. I'm changing the directory and creating the, you can see here the entity, custom entity, how my class should be written. I have created it. Why I have created in this way? Because first I have updated the config.ml. You can see here the root directory. First the root directory is artifacts. Here you can see the artifacts folder. I I think it is not confusing. You can see the artifacts folder here. See, artifacts. In that, first we have done the data ingestion, right? Data ingestion part. After running the data ingestion part, once wait, we have missed something before. We should strictly follow the workflow, guys. See, next we have to update the main.py. I missed this before, but we should not. See, again, let me uncomment this. Let me uncomment. You can see here. See, this is the Now I just importing from src dot end-to-end Textsummarizer pipeline stage one data ingestion. You can see here everything you can see here. See, this is a pipeline. This is a data ingestion. From that I'm importing data ingestion training pipeline. I'm just calling that pipeline. That's it. If you run the main.py file, Python, if you run in the terminal Python main.py, it will create the artifacts folder. In that, it will create the data ingestion. See that Samsung dataset that I am using here. I think you know the project means what is the problem statement. The text summarization. We have to do the text summary. If you give the certain text of a story or anything, it will summarize it in a definite length. Means I have chosen here. I have given 128 characteristics. We can give it as our wish. I hope you understood the problem statement. This is the Samsung dataset that is present in the Hugging Face itself. Yeah, I will show you everything is you see config file is used for that itself. You can see summarizer.zip. I have uploaded that data in my GitHub as well. See, you can see this is the source URL where the data is present. The data is present in my GitHub itself. Raw data, you can see them. Summarizer in the zip format, and I unzipped the data and I stored in the data ingestion. That's all I done in the data ingestion part. I taken the data from the GitHub and I stored in my data ingestion file. That is the complete data ingestion part. Now we entered into the data validation, right? You can see now we entered into the data validation where I have see data transformation. This one, where is data validation? This is the data validation. See, it is done in a text. After doing data validation, it is stored in a status.txt file. Okay. See, for data validation, these are the files root directories that I have to create. In artifacts, create me a data validation file. In that, create a status.txt file. All the required files for doing this data validation is train data, of course, test data, of course, validation data that is present in the artifacts folder. Not artifacts, this is data ingestion folder. You can see everything train, test, validation. You can see here. Now, let's get into the results of the data validation. I have created this entity. How I created, I hope you understood. After creating the config of data validation, I have created this. What is it? Everything is file. You can see in config file, root directory is a path. This is also a path. This is a list. That's what I have given. You can see data validation. See, this is a path. Status, okay. Here status file is a string. Yes. This is a string and this is a list, all the files. Now you can see I imported these. These are important for every component, whether it is data transformation or model training. We have to import this because we're passing them in the into the readml method function to access them in a easy manner, like using dot operation. I said you before data validation. Here you can see I just assign what are the values that should be given to this. I just assigned this here for this and I created object called data validation config and I returned it. You can see very simple code, guys. If you know the modular coding, it will be pretty easy to understand. And this is logging file data validation. This is the actual class of data validation, and I given the output of the class as the input of this class data validation config, and I stored in the config itself. And I have done something here. You can see for file in all the files, if file not in self.config or required, I'm just seeing the validation status whether it is false or true, and I kept it. I returned the validation status and I stored in the status.txt file. That's all I have done here. os.listdir, and I have joined the path. This is a Samsung dataset. You can see here data ingestion. See, this is a Samsung underscore dataset. See, this is all the files that are present here, and I'm looping using for loop. First file not in config self.config all required files. Validation status is false. Okay, we are checking whether all the files are present or not. We are checking that. That is a validation that we are doing here. This is simple code, guys. You can see here, and I'm calling one by one. Validation status equal to true, and we are storing it in a txt file. As you can see here. Let me show you that data validation txt file. See, validation status. All the files are true. Whether all the files are true or not, we are checking after ingestion the requirements that we want are there in the data ingestion or not. That's what the data validation itself. I hope you understood. If you have any doubts, just write in the comment section. Now let's get into the transformation. What is the use of data transformation? Why we are creating this file? If it is because now I am using the transformer model, which is known as, I will show you the name of this name of the model. It is nothing but the Google Pegasus CNN Daily model. Where is my config file here? It will be little confusing here, but once you get into the use of or understanding the end-to-end project, it will be pretty much easy. Pretty much easy. You can see this is my tokenizer model as well as the tokenizer name and the model name will be same, because if you use any transform model, generally they use the tokenizer as the same model. They will use the same model for tokenizer as well. Google Pegasus CNN model. And you can see here this is a transform and root directory. You see what I have written in the data transformation in config file. Create me a data transformation file in artifacts. That we will see everything is same, guys. Everything is same. I hope you understood the workflows, but let me go through them in a fast way. And I will go to the research. Again, data transformation. You can see why I am going to the research. Why is research is important. I hope you understood. First, the research folder itself is very important because we research here whether the everything is going perfect or not. Then we model everything. We keep this component there, this here. We have to keep in components pipeline main.py main.py and entity like that. I hope you understood. Again the same code, and again I am writing the entity class, and again I am importing these directories, and again I am writing the configuration manager. This is very important. This is very important. And see, this is a get transformation config where I am assigning the values for these variables, and I'm returning here, and I'm creating a data transformation. Data transformation. See, return should be my model will take in this format itself. Input IDs should be in this way. Attention mask. These labels only my model will take. That's why I'm doing the transformation of my data. The model will take in in a certain format, right? We have to transform our data in that format. That's why this data transformation folder is there. We are taking it as, we are considering it as a component because of this reason. I understood. I think you understood. This is a function convert examples to features. What is this? We have the dialog, right? I think I have to show the data. I hope I have to show the data. Let me show you the data. Mm, I have. Oh, yes, this is the data. See, in the data set, there will be a dialog like this, and there will be a summary for the dialog. We are training this data to the model so that if you give a new data, a big data or a dialog, anything as such, it will give you the summary. This is the dialog, guys. Now, where is our text? Where is our file? Data transformation here. Now you can see we are converting the examples. Input encoding tokenizer. What is the use of tokenizer? It will create the complete text into tokens, means word by word, and it will create the embeddings, and it will give to the model. These are the, see, you can see this is that is the use of input embeddings. It will create the input embeddings, and maximum length should be 1024, And see, we are giving the dialogue here. I showed you before, and here we are giving the target, which is a summary, and we are giving them to the model. That is the class that we are see what the model accepts. That we should give, right? That's what is done in the data transformation file. I hope you understood. And I am calling the one by one function, and it will do the entire job of data transformation. And this is the pipeline of the data transformation. And I will just copy paste everything, and I will using the workflow. See, we don't have any confusion using this workflow. That's workflow is damn good, I would say. Means the generally in every end-to-end project there will be a confusion which file should update, what should be done first, what should be done later. But if you have a clear vision of what we have to do as the workflows, it will be very much pretty clear. I hope you understood this part as well. Now let me go to the data training part. Data training part, again same code. Again we are creating the entity. See here, these many variables are there in it for the entity. Why these many are there? I will tell you the reason. You can see here. Let me go to this. There's no need of this file. No need of this template file. No need. I don't need. Yeah, no, I need this. Yes. See, in the model trainer, again in Antifix, create the model trainer folder. This is the see for training we need the data, right? So this is the data path where in Artifacts data transformation we want the transform data itself. That's why this is the data transform, and this is a Samsung data set, and this is the CNN model. I also told you before Google Pegasus CNN daily model. And params, you can see the params, these many params we have written. That's why the entity part is too huge here. Let me close this. Too huge. Why? Because data trainer here, these many variables are there because we have to get the we have to give the parameters to the model, and we have to give the path where the data is present. We have to create the file. We have to create the file named model training in the artifacts. That's what we have to done. We should give here. This is the entity. How our class, what our class returns. Configuration. See again, same code we are writing again and again, and again get model trainer config using modular coding from the data that present in params and config.yaml. I'm giving the data to these variables that present above. And again you can see I'm importing these libraries that I want for the training part. See, and returning the model that I have, that class that I have created above to this model. And I'm doing training device equal to CUDA. If it is CUDA, means it is GPU. Is there any GPU that is present, or it is as or project is running in CPU? You're just writing that. And tokenizer, we are loading the tokenizer as I have imported here. See, you can see the info. I have imported the tokenizer here, and I am loading the tokenizer. I am loading my model. I am loading the data collector, and I am training the model using the parameters. That's it, guys. I am training. That's it. And this is the pipeline. Everything I will copy in the format of the workflows. Now let me go to the model evaluation. I hope you understood model training part. It is very easy. I think you are understanding it. And again the same code, we are just changing the directory and we are creating the entity. You are creating the entity. Okay guys, now let's go to the model evolution part. You can see here, again I am importing the OS and checking the directory, changing the directory, creating the entity based on my config and the parameters, and importing these from the other files which are used in this configuration. This is the configuration I am writing again and again because I want to access in an easy way. And I am creating model evaluation config where I am assigning the values to these variables here using the modular coding itself. You can see. And I'm importing the libraries, and I'm returning this class, and I'm giving it to the model evaluation class and storing in the config. And I'm generating the chunks of the of the project. Means the data set is there, right? Data set I'm doing the chunks and calculate matrix test. See what I am doing here is I have to generate the summaries. I have to give the input. See, after giving the inputs to the tokenizer, you can see calculate metric on test JS. Let's see what this function does. Self dataset we are passing, metric, model, tokenizer, batch size, everything we are passing, and article batches list self dot generate batch size chunks. What is a batch? You can see a batch is nothing but you can view a batch as one. If the batch chunk is one, it means model will take at each time one dialogue according to this data set. I hope you understood. We are creating in that way, and we are articles batches, target batches. See, article batches nothing but the dialogues in this data set, and target batches are nothing but the summaries. You can see column text, batch size. See how where these columns have come into picture. Before we have created some other columns beside apart from the data set has. Let me show you those. Means they are present in the trainer part, I think so. If yes, not in the trainer part, I will show you in the text summarization way. You can see in this folder decoded summaries. See the text summarization I have done in the IPYMB file. This is also the end-to-end project I have done here, and I just copy pasted this in the model evolution. I hope you saw before the code, same code in the model evolution part, right? That's evolution. So you can see the evolution. I just copy pasted. First we have to check whether it is complete code is running or not. Complete project is going to work or not, and we are passing the target batches. You can see and zip articles summaries model or generate the summaries means we are generating the summaries now. Now our model is trained. Now we have to pass some text and it will generate summaries. Now we are returning the summaries here. See, we're returning the summaries as well as the score matrix dot compute. We're returning the score. See, in classification, we use accuracy matrix to compute means to evaluate our model, evaluate our prediction. We use classification score, but to evaluate a summarization task we use row row score. Before I think in requirement.txt also you saw the row library that I have downloaded, means that I have to download. And these are the summary that is creating. These are the input means where I will give a text and it will create the token. The tokenizer will create the tokens and it will give to the model. Then only it can create. It cannot under it cannot the model will not understand the written text, right? It will create the embeddings. The embedding mathematical. What are embeddings? The embeddings are the mathematical vectors. I should say mathematical vectors that will be understanding by the model. The tokenizer part is that, and it will give the score. It will evaluate the decoded score, decoded summaries. This is the entire code for evaluation itself. Evaluation, and these are the scores, guys. I will show everything in the model evolution part. You can see here model evolution part. Everything is done that only, and we are evaluating device again. Rows means row names. Row names are row 1, row 2, row L sum. We, every every row has specific significance, guys. Row 1 will see whether the words are same words are there, how it is, how one should text, how the data set has the text summary, whether like that it is there or not. It will check every has its significance. It will just explore it using chat gpt, or you can go to bot and ask what is row, or what are the use of row, means how the text summarization is evaluated. You can ask that, and we are calling the pipeline. You can see as well. We are creating the row names in a csv file, means we are making them in a csv file format. as a data frame. This is the score. This is the evaluation part evaluation part. This is done. Everything is done. Now the project is ready, but we want the user interface where the user can view his text, and it should create the summary, right? For that, we have to create the app.py file. The app using the app.py, I used the Flash to create the web interface. You can see I imported what I want. This is the name of the, we are initializing the app, and this is the prediction pipeline that I have showed you before. Tokenizer pipeline. This is the dialog. I think I have not showed you the prediction one. I have done the evaluation part and I have to show the prediction. Where is this? The component section. Everything is present in the components. Every important file you can see. Components file, data ingestion, data validation, training.py, model training, model evaluation, data ingestion. Where is this file? Okay, let's leave it that. Okay. You can see here pipeline. You can see prediction pipeline. It will take a text. See tokenizer. It will take the text self.config.tokenizer path. See where is, why we are giving this. The model should know, right, what is the path, what is the name of the part. You can see config.tokenizer path. I will show you in the config.ml. Tokenizer path. See tokenizer path is model trainer tokenizer. It is present in the artifacts. In that model trainer will be there, in that tokenizer will be there. I will show you that artifacts, model trainer, tokenizer. As you saw from here, it will take the tokenizer and it will token our words, and it will give to the model. See arguments that we have to give. Tokenizer equal to tokenizer. This is a model path, like the config trainer. As the tokenizer path is present, same model path is also present, and it should print the dialog and the text that the user is given, and it will create the summary and it will give the output as you saw here. Now we have to create the app.py file. See the output, we are returning the output, and we are initializing the pipeline. And the main route where we are taking the web interface should look like. See we are entering the html file where I have written, where the code is written. There are templates, guys. See in the video that I have followed, I just followed the Krishna XR channel where he uploaded the video on the tech summarizer. I just done this project from there. In that, Bappisar done the project using Fast API. He created web interface using Fast API, which is very difficult to understand for a user, because see at the end of the day, the user should understand our product, right? I hope you know how the Fast API interface look like. If you don't know, I will show you that now. Yes, guys, as you can see, wait, I will show you the Fast API interface. See, as you can see here, users, see how can an user can understand this type of interface. He have one. He should go to the, let us say, the prediction pipeline where the SAR is created. He have to open this. We have to open this, and he have to click on the try it change, try it once. Then you have to run the prediction. It is not a user friendly interface. Saris just wrote the fast API code using the library, but I felt it is not user friendly, and I had the extra effort, and I asked the bard, because I don't know HTML. Frankly, I don't know HTML, and I asked the bard to give me the HTML template, like I showed you the before. Let me show you it again. Let me show you it again. As you can see here, like this, I want the interface like this. I want a text summarizer heading above, and two boxes for input and output, and I want this JSONBot name as here. I just asked it in that way. We have to use the tools, guys. If you don't know, nothing to worry, you can learn. But as of now, you should go ahead, right? You ask the bot, I asked the bot, and it given this format, and I have done this. And the flask code is very easy, I feel. You can go through it. Let me go to the code again. See, prediction pipeline. I hope you saw the interface of fast API and mine. How user friendly is mine, and how difficult for a user to understand that. That's why at the end of the day, users should have the easy experience, should do their work. I feel that, and I have done that. I have done this project in this way. I hope you understood. Now this is a summarize route where it will summarize and it will return what is the summarization. And this is exception as E. And this if there is any error, give me this. If there is an exception, give me this. And I have run the port. Let me show the template. I cannot understand this code, but this is a template. I asked and I got. At one time prompt I have not got this by giving more than I by giving by asking my problem more than once, again and again. I got this template, and I showed the interface, right, that the interface that will look like. And this is the template. Now let's get into the actual deployment part, where we write the Docker file. What is the use of Docker file? Let me tell you. See, now I can run the file. You can see I can run the project, entire my project in my terminal, because every part of the code is present in my machine, and I can run in my terminal. I will run here. You can see I'm calling python app.py. You can see it's running. If if it throws any error, let us resolve them. If it doesn't, happy. It doesn't, happy. See, we can run here, right? See, it is running, but I have to deploy in the AWS cloud. Where should all these files will come? Where these files should be stored? I cannot connect this my local machine to the AWS cloud, right? I have to upload the entire project in my GitHub. You can see it is run, and successfully I got the interface. See, you can see I have run this project. This is the interface, and if I give some text, if you don't give, it will give like this. I have wrote the code in this way so that it should give like this. See, this is a I hope you understood the project. But my intention is to tell you, without the Docker file. See, in Docker file we are writing python, this python, this 3.8 model, 3.8 update I have used in this project. And the most important files are app.py. As you know, see, I have run the app.py itself. Why? Because every after running this, after training, after evaluation, now we are ready to predict, right? Everything is present in the artifacts. Now you can go here, and the entire project is to be done from the app.py. Before running before app.py, before the interface, you will run the main.py file to create whether every file is working or not. To create all these files, we run the main.py. But after doing the project, after doing the basic project, before means basic project, now we have to write the app. We have written the app.py. Now we have to run that, means that is an important file. See, in Docker we will write the important files, and important commands one should run. See, I am telling the Docker file that you take this image, you take the snapshot of what I have written here, and give this in the server when I am running, so that it will also run all these requirements. See, I have run in my base environment. You can see, when you are creating any end-to-end project, always remember, guys, it is very important. You have to create the environment. Unfortunately, I have not created it, because I have started this project 3 months back, and I have resumed it now because I want to complete the end-to-end project. At that time, I don't know why I have not created, but we have to create the environment before starting a project. How? By writing conda create hyphen new the name of the environment and hyphen y, because we are saying when it will ask why we are, this is the command. I hope you understood. And these are the points, these are the commands are needed for the file, for the entire project should run in this in that server as well. Means if I give this project to your computer or to the server, if it should also run in your computer, right? For that, it should also run these files compulsory. If it runs all these files, all these commands, not files, all these commands, then my code will run successfully in that project. That is the main use. Means it will create a Docker image. Means what is the image? This is a snapshot of this. And it will store in a container named Docker image container. And it will give to the server. And server will run all the commands. I hope you understood the importance of Docker file. Now let me go to the CI/CD pipeline, the continuous continuous integration, continuous deployment, how it is done. Now the GitHub workflows file comes to picture, and we will create another file named main.yaml. Here the complete. Let me close this. Let me close this as well, and we will see it slowly. What is CI/CD? CI/CD is nothing but a robot, guys. Think as a robot. It will make your, it will check all the code files, all the code files are proper or not, is there any errors, it will check, it will run, it will check complete code, and it will verify using some, there are some validation, means some tasks in continuous evolution, continuous deployment, there are some checkups that should be done. Means it will evaluate our code and it will see whether it is good for deployment or not, then it will deploy, then it will then it will, after integration, means that is a part of integration, you can see workflow. First, what it will do, ignore, we are saying ignore md readme.md when we are pushing our code to the server. Ignore this, we are telling to the robot, the the robot is telling, means as I wrote the code, I am telling in that way, the robot is telling to the computer, will you the readme.md, and permissions, right, it can write, it can read. Jobs, what, there are two jobs the robot should do. One is the integration, the other is the deployment. In integration, continuous integration, the name ubuntu, the server, that aws server is ubuntu. And these are steps, check out the code, it should check the complete code, it should check the lint code, means linting repository, are there any, this I don't, I am not aware of this, sorry for that. And run unit test, there are some tests that should be conducted for the checkup of the files, it will run those check. And build and push, see, elastic container register image, we have, there will be elastic container where our docker container image will be stored. See, continuous delivery is doing now, it is doing, after integration it will do, it will deliver all the files to the, it will connect, it will basically connect our github to the server, so that it can run. As see guys, before having our app.py interface, I showed you before this one, we I run the project in my local machine, right, like that, it's like that the aws server should also run in the github itself. These are the, see, you can see ubuntu integration, and these are the basic configuration, and the credentials also important. My credentials I have written in the project itself, it will take my secrets key, when you are deploying all these will be given, guys. That's all. Here I am writing I have, see, I will show you in github as well, now itself I will show you. Very interesting. See how the end-to-end project works is very important and very interesting as well. Let me go to the. This is my GitHub profile. Mm, this is my kidney disease classification. Not this one. This is my. You can see here. And let me go to the settings where the actions. The see in the secrets.ml actions. You can see here I have written something, aws access key id, aws ecr login uri, aws region. What are these? These are the files that are given by the aws for us. These are the names, these are the IDs and URI that are given by the AW to deploy. That's what we are writing here in the YAML file itself, in main.yaml file. We are writing that itself. We are giving those and building the tag. You can see the code, continuous deployment, self-hosted, the name, checkout, all these. See, log into the Amazon EC electronic elastic container registry, log into that using the credentials and pull the latest images. What is the meaning of latest images? The Docker file itself, and it will pull and it will run. See now, see ECR repository name. I given the text as a repository name. It will run that and run Docker image to server users. See, it will run the Docker image. I tell you, right? Docker image. What is the Docker image? The requirements, the important file, the dependencies of this project. It will run on the server and it will ready that we can run our project in the server as well. That is the code, guys. Here, this is the first time I don't have. See, during the first time when we are deploying, we will comment out this because we have not created the Docker image before. If the Docker image is created before, means after running the code once in the AWS server, we have to uncomment this because we have to remove the previous Docker image. I hope you understood. I hope you understood the complete code. Let me go to the readme.md where the deployment, what are the commands that we have to run in the AWS, not AWS server, means okay, Ubuntu server. AWS will provide Ubuntu server. Most of the servers are Ubuntu because it will take less MB to run. See, CAC deployment GitHub actions. Log into AWS console. We log into our AWS account and create IAM user. We have to create IAM user with EC2. Yeah, we have to create a virtual machine. We have to create elastic content registry to save your Docker image. See, we have to save our. I hope you understood what is Docker image, and we will save it here, and we will description about the deployment. Build Docker image for the source code that we have, and push the Docker image to ECR. ECR is where the Ubuntu server can access all the important dependencies, files, and the requirements, and launch EC2. Pull the image from ECR to EC2. Let me show you the AWS account where I have done this as well. AWS console. I'm opening mine. You just log in with your credentials. I'm also using the free one. You can deploy with using free one as well. Free account. I mean, see. I think my code is also running Elastic Container History and EC2 dashboard. See, one is running instances, one is running, but unfortunately, I could not run the project in the deployment because my files, as you can see, guys, in the I have to if I want to run the project in the server, I have to upload artifacts folder in my GitHub, but I have not uploaded it in my GitHub. Why? Because it is of 2 GB, because my model is pre-trained and the tokenizer and my data set is also huge. I have trained the model in the GPU. Let me show you the GPU. This is a GPU from the college. As I am doing the internship, they have provided the GPU for me. I asked them and I got this. I hope you understood. I hope you understood it. And this is my instance. This is my name of the mission. This is my instance ID. These are the commands, guys. We have to create the EC2 instance, and you can see these. We have to follow the steps as it is created. This is a URI where we'll create, and these are the steps we have to run on the Ubuntu. When the once the server opens, we have to run all these steps one by one. Just we have to run, nothing else. I don't know about this code as well. The complete code is only used to connect the first code is used to create the Docker. First code is to download the Docker on the Ubuntu server, and we will see the version of it. This code is complete code is for that. And after that, we will set up the and we are giving the access KIDs as I show in the GitHub, and we will run the some of the Git commands as well. If you want to know complete about this, go through the complete video of the project, which is about 4 hours, I think. In my, let me show you here where it is present. GitHub, in my GitHub. Is this? Yes. There are certain commands, guys. Certain commands are there. We have to run those commands as well. Actions, runners. We have to go self-hosted. See, this is offline. Why it is offline? Because I have stopped the running, and my there is some error, guys. There is some error because of the model it is not running. That is the main problem. I hope you understood. I couldn't deploy it to use. I felt unhappy somewhat after completing the project with a lot of dedication. I have done this. I hope you understood the project. These are the steps just we have to run in the server. I hope you understood the CI/CD and the importance of Docker file, which is very important to understand. GitHub Actions. See, GitHub Actions is very important, and they are doing a very great job. See, we will don't have any work after just running the file. After just running, after the pushing to the GitHub. Where is my GitHub? You can see here after pushing, you can see the actions. I have run the I have done the deployment so many times, but it failed. You can see how continuous integration, continuous delivery, continuous deployment is done. Annotations, I got something, some warnings I got, but the deployment is successful, but I cannot use my URL. I cannot access the project as you seen using the URL and that everyone can access. I hope you understood the complete project. This is the you can see here. GitHub is very important and it is very structured in a unique way so that you can deploy easily. I I hope you got maza, and thank you everyone for supporting me, understanding me. I hope you if you have any doubts, just mention below in the comment section. I will be very happy to answer. I hope you understood the complete project. Thank you very much.